that your well-being remains our foremost foreign policy concern. It is for this reason that we are continuing to work with the host nations to ensure the welfare of our countrymen. I appeal to all host governments to help us as true and dependable partners in this endeavor. I have always believed that no matter how well-intentioned a leader is, no matter how well-conceived may be his mission, if he lacks the political will to do what needs to be done, they can only end up a failure and a hopeless dreamer. As a worker of government, I promise to do whatever it would take to give all Filipinos a comfortable life, fighting powerful interests and making sacrifices. My obligation is to promote and uphold the greatest good for the greatest number. Our campaign against Endo has resulted in the regularization of the more than 300,000 workers as of early this month. On May 1 of this year, I signed Executive Order 51, which sought to protect the workers' right to security of tenure. Read my lips. I understand that this does not satisfy all sectors. I share their sentiment. I truly do. Much as I would like to do the impossible, that power is not vested upon me by the Constitution, and neither will I make both ends meet, even if I will violate the laws to achieve that purpose. Simply, it is not part of my territory. That is why I add mine to their voices in asking Congress to pass legislation ending the practice of contractualization once and for all. Our farmers, especially our coconut farmers, form a significant part of the basic sectors of society. It is from the toil of their hands that we put food on the table. It is my hope that we finally see this through. I urge you, Congress, to convene the bilateral conference committee and pass at the soonest possible time the bill establishing the Coconut Farmers Trust Fund. I pray that you will do it. My administration remains firm in its resolve to ensure that the country's telecommunication services are reliable, inexpensive, and secure. A draft terms of reference for the entry of a new major industry player is at hand. The terms will be fair, reasonable, and comprehensive. It will be inclusive, so it will be open to all interested private parties, both foreign and local. The only condition is that the chosen entity must provide the best possible services at reasonably accessible prices. However, our efforts to usher in a new major player shall render futile if we do not improve its odds of success in an industry that has long been dominated by a well-entrenched duopoly. We shall therefore lower interconnection rates between all industry players, not only to lessen the cost to the customers, as it will also lower the cost of incoming players to access existing networks. A market environment that is more conducive to competition. This is a policy which is crucial to ensure that our solution to our telecommunication problems will be both meaningful and lasting. In the last 2 years, experience has taught me that lack of consultation or insufficiency of information can, at times, lead to rash judgments. If and when I am unsure of the most appropriate course of action to take given the problem, its a factual menu, and the desired end, I never fail to consult to discuss options with persons whom I trust and whose advice I value. When I decided to establish malasakit centers in Cebu, Tacloban, and Iloilo, my longtime aide, Bongo, and his team became instrumental in arriving at the right decision through proper consultation. Deliberations with the proper agencies also made me decide to push for and eventually approve both the Tertiary Education Act and the increase in the salary of our men in uniform, our soldiers, and our policemen. Boracay Island, widely regarded as one of our country's treasures and admired worldwide for its natural beauty, has sadly become the representation of governance and government's negligence, including mine. I could not allow this decay to continue. Decisive action has long been overdue, recognizing that we are mere stewards of our natural resources, and I said, enough is enough. We intend to restore its environmental integrity alongside measures to alleviate those whose livelihood were momentarily affected. Environmental protection and ensuring the health of our people cannot be overemphasized. Thus, our actions in Boracay mark the beginning of a new national effort. This is just for the other tourist destinations needing urgent rehabilitation and enforcement of environmental and other laws shall soon follow. I urge local government units to proactively enforce our laws and not wait for us to swoop down on your areas just to do your duty and work. Some other time, I would have to discuss local government units. What has happened to Boracay is just an indication of the long overdue need to rationalize in a holistic, sustainable manner the utilization, management, and development of our lands. I therefore urge the Senate urgently pass the National Land Use Act to put in place a national land use policy that will address our competing land requirements for food, housing, business, and environmental conservation. We need to do this now. To help safeguard the present and future generations, we have to earnestly undertake initiatives to reduce our vulnerabilities to natural hazards and bolster our resilience to the impact of national disasters and climate change. As I have stated last year, we must learn from the experiences from the Super Typhoon Yolanda and other mega disasters, and from global best practices. We need a truly empowered department characterized by a unity of command, science-based approach, and full-time focus on natural hazards and disasters, and the wherewithal to take charge of the disaster risk reduction, preparedness response with better recovery and faster rehabilitation. Hence, we in the Cabinet have approved for immediate endorsement to Congress the passage of a law creating the Department of Disaster.